Look at my Mustang in this light, it looks absolutely awesome. Previous videos I've carried out a few mods to this Mustang for you guys, such as bonnet struts, boot poppers, rear end upgrade, which is my favourite mod so far, LED interior lights, and a trickle charge port. As I've done all these things for you guys, please just do one thing for me, and that's subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you nothing, it's totally free for you, but it really does help my channel on YouTube. And in this episode I'm going to install a safety feature of a dash cam, but I'm going to show you how to hardwire one. Let's begin. So in this day and age, you really do need to protect yourself against some of the car crash scams that are going around, such as this one.
What the hell? What the hell, you idiot? Oh my God!
The best way to do this is by installing a dash cam like this. But these usually come with a great big ugly plug on them like this, which plugs into your cigarette lighter. Well, in this video I'm going to show how easy it is to actually install a dash cam into your car, so you don't need to pay anybody to do it for you, and also how we can get rid of that ugly cigarette lighter plug. As always, this is going to require some parts. So on the table over here I've got all the parts needed, so let's have a look at those. So firstly, we're going to need a cigarette lighter socket such as this. So if you look inside there, it's just a protected cigarette lighter socket, so it's all plastic and it's got the two terminals on the bottom for soldering. Next, we're going to need some fuse taps. So these need to be the Ultra 2 size. That's the only ones that will fit in the Mustang, which is the really tiny size fuses. So you need to get some of them. You only need one, but this was a pack of 4 and it was very cheap. We need a bit of wire and some cable tidy and insulation tape, an electrical tester. I'll put a link down below where you can get these from. These are pretty good. It just basically put it onto the earth and it'll light up when you're touching a battery. So we can find the fuse we need using that. Soldering iron and some heat shrink tubing. To make life easier for you, you might as well invest in a couple of these kits like this, which are crimping kits. So you get a crimper and loads of parts. From it, I'm going to need one of those from the earth and those two, which will, well, I've already put them on actually, but will connect to the back end of that. So that's going to make wiring up this a lot easier because I'm going to use all the crimping. I probably won't even need the soldering iron, to be honest now. So your first job will be to locate the fuse box, which in the UK vehicles is in the driver's footwell, which is here. So let's take the cover off. Now we've got like a little plastic nut there, which you just need to remove that. That's that. And once that is out, it should lift up and then just slide out, revealing the fuse box below. So having now exposed the fuse box, what we need to do is find a fuse that is live when the ignition is turned on. So at this moment, the fuse I'm going to choose is this blue one up here, which is fuse 29, which I think is to do with the power windows. If I test this fuse now, on my tester you can see it's not lighting up. If I now turn the ignition on, and I test that same fuse again with the tester, you can now see it lights up, therefore there's a battery when the power is on. So that is a fuse I'm going to use for the dash cam. So now it's time to install what I've just made. So what we need to do is remove that fuse number 29, which is a 15 amp. To do that, you'll need one of these little fuse removal tools, which I got with my kit of fuse taps. So that clips onto that. And there she goes, shot out. So next, after we've removed the fuse, what we then need to do is put it into the lower part of this, so nearest the actual pins that are going in back into the car. And there we now have the fuse tap. So the 15 that was originally will go straight through, and it's now tapped off the 5, which powers this for me. So all I need to do is put that back in and connect the earth up. So now we're going to connect the ground wire to this screw here, which is a 13mm will do it, but you need a long socket because it's got a thread sticking off. So now let's test it. So I plugged it in to my new socket. If I now turn on the ignition, yes, works. So I've got the red light on, so that's perfect. So if I turn the ignition off and the light goes off, perfect. So now we'll tidy that up and then I'll show you how to install the dash cam. Okay, so I've had a change of mind. As you probably saw in the video, that wire would have been trailing just underneath the accelerator pedal and it might have got in the way. So I had a quick look, and if you look right above here, you can see there's two connectors there, which are total earth connectors. So basically, I'm going to use an 8mm to undo one of those. I've now changed the end of the actual socket to have the spade on it, so I can just plug that straight in without having to set the bolt all the way out. So let's do that. Okay, all connected, so it's test time. So let me turn the ignition on, and that red light there should come on if all is good. Yes, there we go. And turn the ignition off, and red light goes off. So that's perfect. So that bit's now done. So now let's go and install the dash cam. So really, installing dash cam is pretty straightforward. I'll show you some of the basics of it, and then I'll just show you the bit that is particular to the Mustang that you'll need to do to get it in the right place. But basically, mount the dash cam on the screen where you want it, which I've done there, and then I've run the wire and I've just tucked it under this edge. That's all. Just tucked it under there. Now, if you tuck it under that edge and get to the bottom, sometimes it's quite hard to get through. So it's best to actually tuck it under this bit here, where the A-pillar internal cover meets the roof liner, and then get it down to the rubber side here. And then what you can do is put the wire all the way in the rubber, which is what I've done to this point here now. So now I'm going to show you is how we get it from there down to the footwell, so we can pick up that socket that I've just created. So in your Mustang, what you have is this part here. Now this piece of plastic, if you put your fingers in it and pull it out, it will just pop out. I'll show you what it's clipped in. So it just has these plastic clips here, which just go into the holes there. So it gives us full access to this area here. So what we can do is pop the wire inside that area, well out the way of the plastic. And now all I've got to do, you can actually cut down the side here and it will come out into that fuse box. So I'm just going to pop that behind there like so. And that's that. So all we then need to do is replace this. So I would suggest you just hook it under the rubber first at an angle. Then you can see where this big bit goes into the hole. So just push that in and then pop it back in like so. Just make sure the rubber's right and you can't see your wire anywhere. And that's great. Box area. So now I've got my socket that I installed and I've got the wiring from the dash cam. So a lot of this can be lost inside. So what I'm going to do, just going to wrap that round. So now we can plug the socket in. And what we need to do is secure all this out the way. So I'm going to go get a tie wrap and I'm just going to tie wrap the socket up there. So all the wiring is well out the way. And there we have it. So that's it, that's done now. So my dash cam is fully wired in. I've got my socket back in the center, which is what I needed, because I've got some plans for that, which you'll see in a later video. I'm going to buy something that fits in there, which is really nice, I think. And window works, everything works. So yeah, that's great. And the only parts I really did for this mod was the micro 2 fuse tap wires, and they're readily available on eBay. Just go search them, dead easy. And also a socket, a cigarette lighter socket, so I could wire up to that and use that to plug my dash cam into. You can't just cut the end off your dash cam, because inside that big cigarette lighter plug is a bit of circuit board that will drop the voltage from 12 volts down to 5 volts to power the dash cam, because the power on 5, not 12. So don't go cutting the end off and then wiring that up to a wire tap. You need to use the cigarette lighter plug to actually get the dash cam to work. The hardest part of this install, I think, was getting the plastic cover back on the fuse box, because that was a nightmare to fit back in. But now it's all done, and yeah, she's looking great. It's another little mod done to my car. So if you did enjoy this, then give me that thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Costs you nothing, really good for my channel, so please do it. So until the next time, stay safe.